What's going on, guys? Amer the Hammer, Dylan Thomas. We're going to talk about how to determine if a diet plan is right for you, if you're on the right track, especially with summer coming up. A lot of you guys want to get in shape. A lot of you guys want to diet properly. You want to do it the right way so you lose weight the correct way. So we're going to go through a number of reasons why most people fail with their diet and why your diet may be failing you. What's the first reason, Dylan?
First reason we got is your diet is not precise in terms of things like measurements, anything like that, measurements with food, measurements with your macronutrients that you should be intaking for the day.
Okay, so I think with precision, the biggest variable that I've seen from previous coaches or clients that have showed me their diet plans before working with them is the way that they measure food. So
typically, things like using cups or ounces leaves a lot of room for error, really. Yeah,
right. So a lot of you guys, if you're measuring your foods in cups, the difference between 1 cup and 2 cups, or 1 cup and 1.5 cups, is such a large difference in carbohydrates.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be anywhere from 30, 40, 50 grams difference.
Yeah, so chances are the diet's not for you. It's not precise enough to be tailored for you. So it's just kind of a generic cookie cutter type of diet.
It's also another reason would be, I mean, often coaches will go, okay, you have to eat 1.5 cups of rice here, and then when they decide they want to start taking back your food, they might say, okay, now you're only eating 1 cup of rice.
Exactly.
But that could be a massive change of taking out almost 40 grams of carbs at a time when it's not really needed. It could only be something as small as 10, 15, 20 grams of carbs that need to be taken out at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think more than anything, that's a lazy way of doing it. For the coaches, or even if you're doing it for yourself, it's easier to say, let's just reduce it by 1/2 cup. Or, it's a lazy way that's not accurate, it's not precise, and it's not tailored towards your body, bottom line. Okay? Second point.
Second point we got is knowing your starting point. Why is your starting point so important?
I'd say the starting point is so important because that's where you're currently at, So in a lot of cases, what I'll do when clients come to me, I won't just revamp everything they're doing. I'll look at where they're at. So I'll give you a perfect example. John came to me, he was at 130 grams of carbs. His weight was 210. I could have easily started to diet him down from that point, or I could have just bumped him up to 3,000 calories and then worked him down from there. Instead, I used his current start point. I increased the food every week, so from 130 grams of carbs, he's almost at 300 grams of carbs now in 8 weeks, and he lost 9 pounds in the process. So your body functions best when you make small changes.
Very small change. And that even comes in with things like cardio. When people will say, okay, I want to do a show, or I want to get ready for a vacation, and you might have 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. If you've gone from doing no cardio beforehand to all of a sudden your coach will tell you, okay, now you have to do 7 days a week, 1 hour cardio. It's not needed at all. You could do 1 day a week of that cardio until you get to a sticking point that you need to add a little bit more in. Until that point, you don't need to go all the way up to 6, 7 days of cardio a week.
Absolutely. So everything's just very incremental, very progressive. It's nothing's aggressive. When you go aggressive with your diet, when you go aggressive with your cardio, when you start off with a lot of cardio or start off with a very low amount of calories to begin with, there's no room to work with. You can't add more cardio if you're already doing an hour. You can't reduce food if you're already at 130 grams of carbs to start with. So
I mean, if somebody comes to me and they're saying, okay, I'm on let's say a woman will come to me and they'll say, I'm on 60 grams of carbs a day and maybe 30 grams of fat and 150 grams of protein. The calories for that is very, very small.
And she has 30 pounds to lose.
Yeah, and she's telling me she's gaining weight, let's say. And she's actually doing an hour or 2 hours of cardio a day. You have to take that starting point into consideration, and you have to be realistic. If that's the point you're at, you're gonna really want to consider incrementally increasing how much you can eat so that you actually have a point that you can then decrease to lose weight over time. Because you've just backed yourself really into a corner in terms of fat loss and weight loss.
Yeah, and you touched on a good word, realistic. I think that's another reason why most people's diets fail them, or they fail with dieting per se, because the plan is unrealistic for that person. I personally cannot eat 6 meals a day. It's not going to happen. If you try to give me a diet plan that has 6 meals a day on it, I'm not going to follow it. I work long hours. I'm always on my feet. I don't have time to stop in between working with people to have 6 meals meals a day.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you don't need to eat 6 meals a day to get in shape. You can eat 3, you can eat 4, you can eat 5 meals a day. And one of the benefits of actually eating smaller amount of meals per day is that you're not going to feel so hungry throughout the whole day. You can eat larger amounts, and your body won't release the hormone ghrelin, which actually dictates your hunger, your appetite.
Yes.
So it can make it easier in a sense dieting if you're on 4 meals a day, bigger portions.
Yeah, you have less hunger spurts throughout the day, whereas if you're having 6, 7 meals, you're constantly like this.
Exactly.
If you have 3 big meals, you're like this, small dips, this, small dip, and that's it.
Yeah.
So be realistic. Let that type of diet, whatever you're going to follow, fit into your lifestyle. If a coach tries to give you something that's not tailored towards you, and they say, this is what you have to eat, these are the foods you have to eat, but it's not based on you. It's not based on what you enjoy doing. It's not realistic. I have clients that say, listen, I like playing basketball for cardio. Go for it. Go play basketball if that's what's going to work for you, if that's what you enjoy doing. If you don't like running on the treadmill, I'm not going to force you to run on a treadmill. If you hate eating a certain food, it's fine. We'll find other foods.
There has to be options in a plan. It's not like this is the cut and dry. You have to do it.
Yeah, and it's because when we start to deprive somebody of something they enjoy, what happens?
That's when issues come up. That's when things like binging.
Lots of binging,
and a lot of issues in terms of mental health come up.
Yeah.
Because you're forcing yourself not to eat something. It's just an unhealthy way to go about your diet in general, in terms of the long term even.
Well, the simplest way to put that is if I allow you to follow a flexible dieting approach and you can have chocolate every day, providing it fits within your macronutrients, you're not going to be craving chocolate every single day. You're not going to say, you know, the problem when most people are dieting is they go 15 weeks, 16 weeks without chocolate, without ice cream, without these things. And what's going to happen? Those things are always on their mind. They're constantly wanting them.
And then the
day after the show, they
just
binge.
Slam it all back, and they feel horrible afterwards for weeks. So
they can't stop. They can't stop. And that's the problem with cheat days, is when you're having cheat days, you're waiting for that one day of the week where you slam everything you can. You even overeat because you're full already, but you say, you know what, I can't have chocolate for a week. Let me have those M&Ms.
I'm going to have the most chocolate I can possibly have right now.
To fulfill me for the next week, right? So keep it realistic. Use flexible dieting methods. Use, just be balanced with what you do and try different things, guys. There's not one way to do everything. Fish and asparagus 6-7 times a day is not the most realistic, and it's not realistic for me and for him. People that actually do compete at the pro level, these are not things that you want to do, and they're not things that are going to last more than anything, right? So
yeah, really, it's just going to hold you back in the long term.
Okay, awesome. So those are a couple of reasons why your diet may be failing you. A few things that you guys can adjust in, and take into consideration for your own diet plans, for your own lifestyle. We're going to be releasing a lot more videos on how to create your own meal plans and things of that nature that are going to help you become a better version of yourself and reach your goals with body composition, getting leaner, getting stage ready, getting in the best shape, bikini body, beach body, whatever you guys want to call it. So any questions you guys have, leave them below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure follow him on Instagram at Dylan Thomas Fit, at Amer the Hammer.
We'll see you guys soon.